So, without wanting to sound too much like a quote from Avenue Q, do you ever wake up and wonder what your purpose in life is? I've sort of accepted that apart from the ordinary, maybe my life doesn't have any real meaning, and I'm not destined to change the world or be remembered for something special. But I'm an oldish bloke and not a naive, idealistic young man. Unlike the hero of Stephen Schwartz and Roger O'Hiran's musical Pippin, which this week has opened at the Charing Theatre. The story is told by a group of performers and with the leading player, played by Ian Carlisle, directing and pulling the strings. This is the story of Pippin, played by Ryan Anderson, the oldest son of King Charlemagne, played by Daniel Quickler. He's been away at university and has now returned ready to take his place in his father's court and make his mark on the world stage. He knows he is destined for something amazing, but as yet hasn't worked out what it is. For a start, he thinks maybe he should become a great warrior like his father and his half-brother Lewis, played by Alex James Hatton, the only son of Charlemagne and Pippin's stepmother, Fastrada, played by Gabrielle Lewis Dodson. But after taking part in his first battle, he decides this isn't for him and flees to the countryside to get advice from his grandmother Bertha, played by Genevieve Nichol. As Pippin searches for his way to soar, he meets the widow Christine, played by Natalie McQueen, and her young son Theo, played by Jaden Virgin, and his story starts to turn in an unexpected way, much to the disapproval of the leading player and his troupe. Reading the programme, I was amazed that 2022 will be the 50th anniversary of Pippin's first performance. The story and songs feel very contemporary, and you could easily imagine it being staged as a 21st century production with all the bells, whistles, and video projection that have become the staple of West End shows today. But this production is described as pared back, with a cast of only 8 and a two-piece band, so that's Chris Marr, who's musical director and plays keyboards, and either Sam Ainsley or Nick Hill playing guitar. Almost like Pippin himself, the show is small in stature and big in aspiration. And boy, does it deliver. Performed in the round with a fantastic set designed by David Shields that really pays homage to its late 1960s flower power Summer of Love roots. The theme flows through the costumes, giving some wonderful troupe of happy hippies to whom the fourth wall is a social construct they can well do without. And I couldn't move on without mentioning Aaron Dootson's innovative lighting design, which really enhances the space and the atmosphere of the performance. Ryan Anderson really shines in the role of Pippin, a lovely combination of the angst of youth and the arrogance of privilege, who could irritate but instead endears himself to the audience. There's a nice chemistry between him and Ian Carlisle's leading player, especially due to the intense and highly physical duet track. And the two of them really dominate the show in exactly the way they should. However, it is impossible to discuss the players without mentioning the barnstorming performance of Genevieve Nichol as Pippin's grandmother Beth. No Time at All is my favourite number in the show, and Nichol makes it the high point it is meant to be. A wonderful performance that really gets the audience to love this doddery old woman whose zest for life is not diminished by age. If I'm going to be really picky, I would say the words on the banner were not that easy to read, but honestly, I don't think it matters one jot. Director Stephen Dexter, along with choreographer Nick Winston, make full use of the performance space and really put the talented and hard-working cast through their paces. There are some lovely touches to the direction which stood out for me. For example, the way the position of the leading player in the hierarchy of the players is emphasized as the others look to be picked for roles, and the gentle but effective moment when Charlemagne uses current social distancing rules to avoid hugging Pippin on his return from university. Ultimately, while the story takes a darkly surreal tone in the second act, Pippin is a heartwarming show that reminds us we are all mortal, and if we spend too much time looking for our purpose or legacy, we might just forget to experience and enjoy the life we have. I honestly can't think of any aspect of the show that didn't work for me. From the moment we entered the auditorium, seeing a quiet, thoughtful Pippin sitting on the side contemplating his life, until the lights went down on Theo surrounded by the players, Pippin held me spellbound. And as I got my bus home, I was still singing No Time at All under my breath. I gave Pippin 5 stars for lastminutetheatre.com. If you like this review, feel free to subscribe and see some more coming up.